where former President Mohammad Nasheed was residing. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to Evening News. I'm Aishat Khalid. The Nasheed administration has been overthrown after police and the military mutinied and joined the opposition last night following 22 consecutive nights of protest. Announcing his resignation at the president's office, Nasheed said that if he remains as president, the country might suffer more losses. He said that if he tries to retain power, foreigners might influence the country and that his decision is sincere. He said that he hopes that democratic values will reign and that justice will be served in the country. We now take a look at last night's events which led to Nasheed's resignation halfway through his term. It began when police officials mutinied and began protesting against the government at the Republic Square. Initially, the number of police officers who came out in protest was not so large, just filling out the Republic Square. They began protesting after midnight when police were relieved of the duty of dispersing protesters and when the military was given the task. MNDF officials remained idle while ruling party protesters and opposition protesters were involved in violent clashes. This is when the police decided to pick a side. They separated the crowds and began protesting. As soon as this happened, military officials were deployed to counter this protest and to try and convince the police officers to reconsider their actions. Then recently resigned President Mohammad Nasheed even attended the protest and asked the police to drop their weapons and to give in to the MNDF, promising them no harm if they did that. When he attended the protest, neither the police commissioner Ahmed Fasih nor Home Minister Hassan Afif had addressed the situation. Police, however, did not allow Nasheed to address them and called on the authorities to free the uniformed bodies. At around 8 o'clock, the first clashes erupted between police and the armed forces. The MNDF first used a large amount of tear gas and started filing into the Republic Square. The police who were protesting took up the challenge and confronted them. MNDF officials then fired rubber bullets against the police and other protesters, but police did not relent. With the help of shields that their allies at the police headquarters threw to them, they confronted the army while civilian protesters threw stones and other objects at the MNDF officials. That resulted in MNDF going back into the army headquarters. While these confrontations were going on, no one knew the exact location of Mohammad Nasheed. However, witnesses said that he was in MNDF headquarters. Meanwhile, members of the opposition called on locals at Ibrahim Nasir International Airport to stop all work at the airport. According to the opposition, MNDP officials are trying to flee the country through the airport. Beds at ADK Hospital are filled with people injured at the clashes. ADK Hospital was on alert from the time, and IGMH Hospital also announced emergency status. Suddenly celebratory cheers erupted at the Republic Square when some officials of the police defected to the opposition. More MNDF officials kept joining the police protesters, and MNDF and police officials from nearby islands also came to Malé to join the protests. What we heard after that was that protesters from the uniformed bodies have set conditions for the government. They demand that President Nasheed to resign at 1:30 and for the police commissioner Ahmed Fasih and his 2 assistants to resign as well. They said that conditions are not negotiable. Soon after that, Ibrahim Nasir International Airport and the state media station MNBC1 was taken over by the police and the military. They began broadcasting the transmission of VTV on MNBC1. The Police Commissioner Ahmed Fassi was the first to give in to the conditions set by the opposition forces when he resigned. The President's resignation was followed. Mohammad Nasheed came into power on the 11th of November 2008 when he won the runoff elections held between him and Maumoon Abdul Qayyum after spending decades either in exile or underground, campaigning and planning to overthrow the Qayyum administration. He was considered a widely popular president, especially in the United Kingdom and the West. He fell out of public favor when he caused the enforced disappearance of Chief Judge of Criminal Court Abdullah Muhammad on the 16th of January 2012. Moments after he announced his decision to resign, Judge Abdullah was released. Dr. Mohammad Wahid has sworn in as the 5th President of the Republic of Maldives. The President took his oath of office at the ceremony held at the Parliament building this afternoon. The oath of office was administered by Chief Justice Ahmad Faiz Hussain. After the President was sworn in, he signed the oath, followed by Chief Justice Ahmad Faiz Hussain and Speaker of the Parliament Abdullah Shahid. We will be back with more news in just a moment. Welcome back. Newly sworn-in President Dr. Mohammad Wahid says that today has shown the autonomy of the Constitution in the best possible manner. He made this statement in his first nationwide address as the President of the Maldives. He said that today the rule of law has been fully established in the country and that the people have been assured of the true protection which the law offers. Dr. Wahid said that the Constitution is an autonomous authority and that it is the Constitution which prescribes how all powers of the state should be run. He said that the Constitution also dictates authority over all the people, the Parliament, independent commissions and courts of law. He said that on Mohammad Nasheed's resignation, he took over the role of President fully aware of the responsibility the position comes with, and he is prepared to take over the responsibilities. Commending the decision of the masses to uphold the Constitution no matter what obstacles they might face, President Wahid assured the citizens that during his tenure, rule of law will be upheld. He reiterated that he will never issue an unlawful order to either a civilian or a member of security forces. He also said that former President Mohammad Nasheed will enjoy all privileges that he is entitled to and assured that Nasheed and his family will get protection. He urged all politicians to set aside their differences and prepare to work together for the greater interest of the country. He commended the people who came out in the protection of the religion and the judiciary and said that he appreciates the sacrifices that they made for the nation. Security forces have freed the state media. The state media station, which has been operating in the name of the Maldives National Broadcasting Corporation, was taken over by the mutinying police and army officials at around 10 o'clock this morning. They forcefully entered the MNBC grounds after confrontations with MDP activists and took down the MNBC flag, which was replaced by a Maldivian flag. They then began broadcasting content which was being broadcast on VTV and changed the MNBC sign on the screen to TVM. MNBC1 was functioning as Television Maldives or TVM before its name was changed. VTV has received information that the decision to change the name of MNBC1 and Raja Radio to TVM and Voice of Maldives is supported by newly sworn-in President Dr. Mohammad Wahid Hassan Malik. President of Adal Party Sheikh Imran Abdullah and Vice President of the Civil Alliance Abdullah Muhammad announced the change today. Speaking at a special coverage by TVM this morning after President Mohammad Nasheed's resignation, Virufushi MP Riaz Rashid said in the future TVM will never be used as a political tool as it has been in the past. Police confiscate several liquor bottles from the official residence